It's a tremendous joy and a pleasure for me to stand before you and bring God's word.
Na simangni makhango chadingi isolni katako agana angna namen kalsrokani aru kusini konna.
I want to thank our dear leaders of GBC for inviting me and giving me this opportunity.
ABD kini dulgaparangko yatsol kwangna unani na matela.
25 years ago, as a young married man in 1999,
Research school school biya kadaldal chadambegata
my wife and I, we came to Tura.
angaroni zekapa turauna ribacham.
We came to speak in an EU camp.
You campo skinagata chingar ibaha.
Now, after 25 long years, the Lord gave me the opportunity to come here.
Basi kolrik mar ut beni zamano yatsol ko mantaya.
I'm so thrilled and I'm so thankful to you for your wonderful hospitality.
Nasimangni namgapa suka sakanina nasimang ko mutela.
You made me feel at home,
Anga nuktao gatan nutula.
and it's my prayer and my hope that I would continue to come here and be part of you.
Aro yanangni biani nga anga yarona riba thai nasimang baksa bakra ka bong phana
I
managata.
truly enjoyed your singing,
Ana simangni git ani rangna namen kasroka.
and back home in our place in Bangalore, in our college also, we have so many wonderful gifted singers and musicians from the Northeast India.
Aro wasi Bangalore chini kalesoba iya salgur salaram India ni adokoni bangarna changgapa chadam berang genang.
I enjoy music and songs, but unfortunately, I am musically challenged so much that I cannot sing well.
Anga git ani aro doka damani ko nam nakabangong ade ande bara song gribia han thangde ya nake dakna man phaja.
My wife and my daughter, they sing very well,
Angni zakapa aro angni demechite name rungna dokana damna changa
but not me.
ande bangade nake ong phaja.
Sometimes in our college, when the faculty and principal, we need to give a special number,
Basa ko bade college to anga aro angni ski parang changa special git rang ko rungna nanga.
I see to it I would always stand on the last line. I'd never come near the mic to sing.
Aro ade nakaba sumayade pangnaba mukhangna ribaja jangal chipak chadeng runga.
Now, one time, in my role as a principal, I need to sign several checks.
Sangsawanga college ni principal kata check ko sign kana
You know,
nanga.
some of the checks you need to sign at the front and at the back.
Aro nige check ode ansimu wiya mukhang chipakpa jangal chipakpa sign kana nanga.
And often I would forget to sign at the back of the check.
Aro banga sumay nanga wa check ni jangal chipak sign kana guarunga.
So from my office, they will put a little post-it note, and they would say, please sign at the back, to remind me to sign at the back of the check.
Uneman angni nagi guarunga ni man office to ni pangnan check sign kana na to de khasa pa e jangal chipakpa sign kapuni secha patrunga.
One time when they had wrote the note, instead of sign S-I-G-N, they wrote S-I-N-G.
Sangsawon again angna sign sohi kapo SIGN ni siani pal wani pal SING sing gitun boni set manaha.
So instead of saying, please sign at the back, they wrote to me saying, please sing at the back.
Uneman wako piatran nagi ungskajo khasa pae jangal chipak sohi kapo ba sign kapo nani pal khasa pae jangal chipak tongi gitun boni song ungskajo.
I actually thought that was a sign from the Lord that I must always sing at the back.
Uneman angadi akon isoni angna uyakani ni chanchejo gitun na manjenman pangnan gitun ori jangal chipak chading rongchina.
But you all have such beautiful, blessed with beautiful voice and giftedness in music. May the Lord bless you and use you all so much.
Yano bangarangan deke rungnaru dokna damna changbarang bangana simang ko isol mukhang chipak phathi jakalang kuchina.
150 years.
Basir chasa sotbunga
150 years is a long time in the history of a people.
basir chasa sotbunga men mandirni jangithang bakro gapa maam biunga.
And as we are at this concluding session of the 150 years culmination celebration,
Aron deke ansing ya basir chasa sotbunga ko mania niu ya bonkham gapa machote manini sumayongion.
we remember how God birthed the church here in this part of the world.
Ansing ya zorango maika isol mondoliko sumahoko giskrata.
From ordinary people, an uncle and a nephew, God would use to bring the gospel to you all.
Ram mandirang so wigi japon ko isol namma katha ko na simona ndaki sukataha.
Who can despise the day of small beginnings?
Ya 우리 존내 아버지니 나가고 서와 전치 소천.
From such a small beginning,
나게 종급 아버지니.
today the Garo Baptist Convention, I was told, has 5.6 lakhs of members.
종급 아버지니 달로 ABDQ 봉화 포인트 락 만들랑 베비라브랑 동화.
With some 2,700 congregations. 2,700.
아론데게 하자근이 차 스님왕 몬돌이랑 동화.
These are the numbers your president gave me, so I can boldly say the numbers.
아야랑코 앙나 나시마니 프레시덴은 아간 하니면 영화네야 진짜야.
Who can despise the day of small beginnings?
사와르게 존이 아바지의 주속 아니고 남는 기정남한 겐.
The Lord has brought us thus far.
이소ල් 안친거 야노나 름바하.
And the Lord will continue to lead us on.
아로 그델 안친코 내겐 랑쿠겐.
But remember, the 150 as we celebrate is a milestone.
내가 기스크라보 버시를 차사 수봉하고 많이 아니라 아직은 남매 만찬 기스코 돈나는 거 봉아.
When you travel on the road on a journey, you would see a milestone.
젠서는 아시면 아마랑고 송레겐 야 안친이 송레니 바크렌바 킬로미터라고 미송다 롱송에 동급바 동아.
What does the milestone teach us?
아론다카파 송에 동급이라는 마이코 미소가.
The milestone tells us that we are on the right direction.
아야 송금은 롱랑아라. 증아 티 공급을 아몬 양해리고 미소가.
But the milestone also reminds us that the milestone is not the destination, but there are still many more miles to go.
아니베야 바디타 치네 송레 바고 미속 나다 송금은 롱아라. 우아는 막속다하 내데 미속 자이바 우아노니 양쿠나 아니고 미소가.
So as we reflect on the 150 years of God's faithfulness,
은행은 안생 버시르 차서 소폰에 이소리 각해 동안이코 기스코 전체팅온.
the leaders of GBC have come up with this theme from Psalm 126.
ABD키니 들거프랑 기트랑 넘버 차사 골글 떠고니고 야 방착하니코 라하.
The Lord has done great things for us.
그델 안치나 달라랑코 다카하.
The Lord has done great things for us.
그델 안치나 달라랑코 다카하.
We must never forget it is the Lord who has done great things for us.
아진 황나바 구알나 남자와 안치나 야 달라랑코 그델 사다카하.
But you notice that it was mentioned in the past tense.
아니바 기스크라보 야코라 마초트면 그따사 우노 자나 빠청.
And as we move forward into a fresh new phase of life and ministry,
아론드게 안생 야로니 그달가빠 장기타니로 당드겨 내니는 리마캉yon.
I want to remind you of this verse that was read to us from Joshua chapter 3.
안치나 포렛그만 조서 우다의 그탐니 포트 코앙하기 스라탄타스카.
Remember, the people of God were miraculously delivered from Egypt.
기스크라보 이소니 만장 아영만구바 감랑치 이집포 노콜었다니고 자크델라타코 마나하.
And God brought them through the Red Sea.
아로 이소와 마코 사가그 찾고나 들바하.
And they were on the verge of entering into the promised land at Kadesh Barnea.
아로만 카데스 바르네아와 구라착문 아손 앞나시하점.
But because they disobeyed the Lord and would not believe Him, they were made to wander for 40 years in the wilderness.
아니바 와망 이소로 가동 자니구만 와망 가동 착정 와망이 아와니 아셀 와망 바그라우 버시 속브리나 리로로 나가다와 브라나 나하.
Entire generation passed away.
아르와논 블락 이집은이 옹캇 바그빠 자손이 만드랑 시나그다 나하.
Except Joshua and Caleb.
조슈아 아로 칼렙 나그레.
And a whole new generation were now coming into the promised land.
아로드게 나우데와 블락 그런데 와 구라착문 아손 앞나
But
만지점.
before they could enter into the promised land,
아로 와망 와 구라착문 아손 앞나 스캉.
before they could enter into a new phase of fruitfulness in their lives,
와망이 장기태는 비태근ang 장기타니 바꾸나 양나 스캉.
there was a huge obstacle in front of them.
와망니 마콘 달베이그빠 참팽아니 동아첨.
The Jordan River was flooding and flowing mightily.
조단 치비마 와노 치 달링아첨 아로 느겐 타락게 조킹아첨.
How do we cross through the Jordan River and enter into the promised land?
야 조단 치비마고 말이게 박속대 구라 자꾸만 아손 앞겐.
In that context, the Lord told the Israelites,
완다카바 오보스타오 Gatel Israel mandirang na ha.
Consecrate yourselves.
Ang thang thang ko rong talat bo.
For tomorrow the Lord will do amazing things among you.
May na knalo gatel na siman isibo dalarang ko dakna singa.
When we looked at the past 150 years, we proclaim thankfully, joyfully today that the Lord has done great things for us.
Bersih sa sot bunga badeng gubun kon yak ken simo dian sinda lo material plan yung nakasyo ke Jehovah sina dalarang ko dakhan yakan naman gen.
That was for the past.
Wala maksud gaman.
But as you look into the future,
Ani ba makang chini gaman yak ken simo de.
the Lord is saying that He will do amazing things for you in the future.
Gadel laga niya makang chi na simo na dalarang ko daken.
Whether it's in your own personal life,
Wana simo ni ang thang thang ni jang gitang ngabagnang.
or in your family life,
Na simo ni noktang ni jang gitang ngabagnang.
or in your social life,
Na simo ni songsaro jang gitang
or in
ngabagnang.
your church life,
Na simo ni mondolio jang gitang
the
ngabagnang.
Lord wants to remind us today that He is going to do amazing things among us.
Gadel antina dalu yakog isratas ka wansina dalarang ko dakna singa.
But remember, all of God's promises comes with a condition.
Ani ba gisra abo plak isoli dala kura chakani rangara.
And what was the condition here?
Ar isoli ongum rangara maya.
That we must consecrate ourselves to Him.
Wan antina thang thang ko una rong thal lakna kita nanggen.
What do we mean by consecrate?
Ya rong thal latanon mai ko muksunga.
Consecrate means to devote and dedicate ourselves to God.
Wan rong thal latane kanion antina tanong isol ko olakina ar isol antan ko onkang ani ko muksunga.
For His purposes.
Uni ko muksunga ni rangna.
And on this very last day of this conference,
Yan sini thomani bongkang ko pasalo.
I want to briefly talk to you about crossing the Jordan.
Anga na simana ya Jordan chiko batsok tani magana tskinga.
I want to talk about the amazing things God has in store for you and me.
Anga na simangna nangnarong na isoni dalah dun sori magana tskinga.
But to remember what God has for us today, I want to place before you 5 terms or 5 themes just to remember for us.
Andi ba ya isoni dalang konsep dakna manika kaniwa na simana mengbonga katrang ba mengbonga chansine ko na tskinga.
How did they cross the Jordan River and enter into a new great blessing? 5 important principles, 5 important themes we can learn from Joshua chapter 3 to 5.
Wamang marike Jordan chiko batsok tangi wa kurachakani asunga sokanga ha wani mana joso dai ka thamani odai bongani ko mengbonga gisratani ko na tskinga.
I would say in English, which you can very easily remember, number 1 is concentrate.
Nasimang English kata jide gisra ana mangin altuai once kampo concentrate pa deng niatani.
Number 1 is to focus upon something the Lord is telling us today.
Once kang pa isol ansana mai khagani ko deng muksoi niatani.
Joshua brought all his people, hundreds of thousands of people, and they were camped near the Jordan River that was flowing to its full capacity.
Joshua antani mandirang ko reksa hazar mandirang ko wa Joshua king pa Jordan chinir kamona rumbaha.
For 3 days they were camped there.
Salgat thamna waman wanon athap rakaha.
For 3 days they were looking at this impossible scenario.
Salgat thamna wamang ya oknam gizako ni dongiachem.
And after 3 days, Joshua sent the officers throughout the camp.
Aranike salgat thamni jamana Joshua dalga prangko wa athap thamna watataha.
And the officers told the people, they said that when you see the priest carrying the Ark of the Covenant go before you, you need to follow the Ark of the Covenant.
Unong ya Joshua ni watak keba dalga prang mandir nagana nasimang kamal rangni wa nyang sunduko di thomel yakon gon nasim wo mako jarip nananga.
You remember the Ark of the Covenant was a requirement God gave to His people.
Nasimang giskrama ya nyang sundukara isoni antani mandirang na onggaman wachem.
It's a beautiful big box.
One nito bigaba box nga
And 2 cherubims with their wings outstretched that are carved over them.
yan ora cherab saknani ko grang rangko badale donako no solachem.
So for the people of God, the Ark of Covenant represents 2 important things.
Anigaman isoni mandirang na yan yang sundukara menggani ko misoka.
Number 1 is the presence of God.
skangpa wan isolni dongpani
And
ko.
wherever the Ark of the Covenant, they believe that the God's literal presence is there.
Jehovah wan yang sundu gongchina wan isol donga ni wamang bebera.
They actually believe between those two wings of the cherubims that the Lord would meet with them when they come before the Ark of the Covenant.
Wamang dagi bebera wa solgaman serap grang badai dongba gisepone isol ongsa dongpan en bani.
So that is why